Hi friends! Today I am going to do a makeup look with my Too Faced Pumpkin Spice Latte palette, or Pumpkin Spice palette. Today we're going to be using the shades Pumpkin Spice, Ginger Spice, You Spicy, right here, PSL and Chill, which is this shade here, and then Spice of Your Life, which is this purple shade here. So these 5 shades are the shades we're going to use today, and I'm excited about it because I've never used those shades together. I've used a couple of those shades on their own, but I've never put them together. So we're going to see how this is going to go tonight. First, I'm going to prime my eyes, and I have the Ulta Beauty Matte Eye Primer in the shade Nude, and that's what it looks like. So I'm going to put this on my eyes to prime. If I can get a little bit out here. Oh, well, the whole stopper came out, so it must have been clogged. That's okay. We're going to take a little bit. Oops. Dropped it there. We're going to take a little bit. I'm going to put the lid back on that here in just a second. Oops. Hold on. Apparently, I can't hold on to nothing tonight because I keep dropping things. So we're gonna take this. I've got a little bit on my fingers here, and I'm just gonna apply this directly to my eye. It's a little dried, so just so you're aware, I've had it for a while. But that's what it looks like, and you can see it kind of cancels out all the pigmentation and all the redness that is on my eyes currently. And we're just gonna take that and apply it to the other side. And I'm just applying a little bit. I got way too much out on my hands here. And I'm even going to apply it to the inner corner. And they say, some people say, I've never known this, I've never really tried this, that you can take a little bit of your eyeshadow primer and put on your nose to help your foundation and stuff stick. We're going to try that out too, since I got so much of it out. So we're just going to take the rest of it and apply it to the nose. It does help conceal some of the redness there, so it may work. And I'm going to put it especially in the creases of my nose where I know I get a lot of redness. So we're going to try that out and see how well that works. And take the excess, of course, and, wipe off on an excess rag or something. Next thing we're going to do is, first shade I'm going to take is I'm going to take the Pumpkin Spice Latte and Chill, which is this really pretty light shimmery purple. And now you can work on your lid first, you can work in your crease first. I go back and forth between doing the two. I think today, instead of taking that shade first, I think I'm going to work in the crease first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my big fluffy brush. I'm going to go into the shade called Whipped Cream, which is this light shade here. I'm going to take that shade first and go right underneath my brow bone so that any colors we blend up from the crease will have a nice light blending shade to blend into, so that we can blend them into pretty much nothing. And so I'm going to do that on both sides and make sure it's really saturated right there, so that anything we blend on top will just blend seamlessly. There we go. And next, I think I'm going to take, the first shade I'm going to take is Pumpkin Spice. I'm going to take that on that same fluffy brush, and I'm just going to relax my eyes, and I'm going to apply that right here. And blend it really high up. That's going to be kind of our transition shade. And it's going to be kind of the sheerest shade on our eyes today. And same thing on the other side, just kind of relax our eyes and just blend. And just kind of blend it into nothing. Like I said, it's going to be kind of one of the sheerer shades on our eyes. That is actually a very pretty kind of ochre yellow kind of color, yellow ochre color. Those who know Bob Ross and who know paints know exactly the kind of color I'm talking about. Okay, so we're going to take that, and next thing we're going to do is go back into our whipped cream shade, which is our very light shade, and just blend over that edge to make sure it blends into nothing. Just that very last little edge there. And that just gives a very nice subtle wash of color, which is exactly what we want for this shade specifically. That shade we don't want to be super intense because it's just going to give a nice base to the next color we put on, which is going to be, so I'm going to take a slightly smaller, slightly denser brush, more concentrated. This is another Urban Decay brush, and I'm going to go into the Ginger Spice shade, which is that kind of more orangey color. And we're going to put that just kind of slightly lower. And just kind of slightly lower and there. And then take our shade with the pumpkin spice on it, and we're going to blend that out. We're going to take a little more of the pumpkin spice color and just blend along the edge of that, so that we can get that color just how we want it. And look at that. Look at how pretty that looks. Now, I noticed that this shade is a little patchy, so I'm going to go back in with the shade that had that, or the brush that had that color on it. And I'm just going to kind of blend with that. And then go back in with the pumpkin spice color and just kind of blend over that a little more targeted. There we go. With makeup, it's all about going back and forth and blending. I know I already put a little bit of that there, but I'm just gonna put a little more. And then go back in with the pumpkin spice color and just blend. And relax your eyes, make sure they stay relaxed, because that's how you're gonna get the best saturation of color where you can see it. Okay, I'm going to go back in with the ginger spice color, and again just kind of put that right there on that side and put it right there on that side, so that I can kind of get the shape and all that I want, because you've got to, when you're blending, you've got to keep in mind the shapes and the how you want your eyes to look. And there's a reason we're doing this first, is because we might get some fallout. And we don't want this falling out on our under eye concealer or anything. So, and then I'm going back in the shade Whipped Cream, and I'm just gonna clean up those edges just a tad. And again, clean up those edges just a tad. Look at how pretty that looks, and we're not even close to being halfway done. Now I'm going to take the really small end of this brush and I'm going into that pink magenta-y shade called Use Spicy, because this is really where the look is going to turn from orangey to more of a sunset-y look, and we're going to put that right into the crease right there. And we're not going to blend it up much farther than there. That's just kind of where it's going to live, is right there in the deepest part of our crease. And then take a fluffy brush. I wouldn't say one you had a color on previously, because you just want this to blend up. I would say a clean fluffy brush and just blend that, because that's gonna, there's enough there now to blend into. And you can already start to see how pretty that this is gonna look. Oh, I love that. I'm so happy. This is gonna look so good. So now that we're pretty much done with the crease colors, I am going to take a small flat brush and we're gonna put the PSL and Chill shade on there. So that's that purpley, that very light purpley shade. And because this shade I've noticed is a bit crumbly, so we're gonna apply some setting spray to it. And that's just a Morphe setting spray. I love the Morphe applicator for setting spray because it's just, I love the aerosol. And we are going to apply that right on our lids. And this shade really works best if you swipe it and not pack it. It just gives you the most color payoff. Okay, and then saturate the brush a little more with some more setting spray and just pack on that color. And I'm gonna pack that all over the lid. Just like that. Look at how, oh my gosh, that is way prettier than I thought it would be. It's a little darker than I thought it would be too, but that's okay. Now over here to the other eye, and I'm just looking down into my mirror because that's the easiest thing for me to do, to get this packed on my eyelid. Oh gosh, that is so pretty. I am loving that shade. Just a little more setting spray. Try not to get it in your drink. I have water right here in my Starbucks cup. Okay, there we go. And that's packed all on the eyes. That is gorgeous. Oh my goodness, look at that color. And if you want to smooth it out, I would suggest taking your finger and kind of smoothing it down so it kind of lays flat. And you can even take some on your finger and just, yeah, that's how it really shows up best. It's just applied with the fingers. That is gorgeous. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited about that. Now, I'm going to take the smudgier end of this brush and go into Spice of Life, which is the dark purple shade. Excuse me. Told you, I can't hold on to nothing tonight. I dropped my mascara. So we're going to go into Spice of Life. And we're going to go along the outer corner here and just blend that slightly into the crease where that pink was. We're not going to go any higher than that. Because this is like the dark cloud at sunset. I love orange and purples together because it does remind me of a sunset, and I love sunsets. I think they're beautiful. They're my favorite. And now we're going to take I gotta find that fluffy brush again that I used for the pink. And there we go. And blend that purple in. Just the outer, I would say, third of your eye. Just like that. Just like that. And look at how intense and pretty those eyes look. Next thing you can do is you can do the rest of your makeup however you want. I'm going to use my Lottie London tint, Velvet Skin Tint. And make sure that you do this over a sponge because it does that. If you shake it up, it will ooze everywhere. And I've already washed, moisturized, and primed my skin. I did that before I started the face, or for the eyes. And I'm just gonna apply it to the sponge and then apply it to my face. And I feel like that gives me the best coverage, most control, and I don't get my hands nowhere near as messy. And if you're like me and you're messy anyway, trying to cut down on the amount of mess that you have and that you have to deal with is not a bad thing. And we're just gonna apply this everywhere that you think you would apply your foundation. And try to keep a hold of the sponge and not drop it everywhere. And I'm just gonna apply it. I like to make sure I go over it a couple of times, you know, go over each section a couple of times to make sure it's nice and blended and, you know, it looks even and not scary. Because I notice sometimes, especially on camera, I got a hair in my mouth. A cat hair of all things. It can definitely tend to look a little scary if you don't blend it in correctly. And just blend it down my neck. And there we go. I may have put on a little bit too much, but that's okay. Next thing, you can color correct your under eyes if you need to. I don't think I need to tonight. I'm just going to take my Maybelline Age Rewind eraser and apply that under my eyes and in my inner corners. And then take that same sponge and just blend it in under my eyes. And if you see that you want to add some more under your eyes, you can definitely do that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a purple eyeliner and go under my eyes and take that same deep purple shade and smudge it out. I think that's going to look really good. I just want to make sure that I get this inner corner nice and blended because that can tend to look a little crazy on me because my inner corners are a little wonky. So do that, and then, you know, if you need to, just take a clean sponge and tap away any excess if you need to. I'm just gonna go around my face and see if my sponge picks up any excess product, and it did. A lot. That's a lot of excess product. Next, I'm going to do powder before I go in with the eyeliner. I'm going to use the Revolution Translucent Baking Powder. I don't typically bake. I use this, this is a damp sponge, and I do use it to apply powder, but I don't apply excess and I don't let it sit. I just apply a thin layer of powder all over my face, and then I brush away the excess. Because I pick up powder and then I apply it. I don't really like apply a bunch of it. And then I take my Ulta Beauty powder brush from the Black Widow collection from when Black Widow came out in theaters. And I just dust off the excess. I put a little bit of extra powder just in case I missed a spot, but I only do that like once, and then I just brush away the excess. And that's how I powder my face. Okay, so next thing we're gonna do, this is the Hocus Pocus eyeliner, cream gel eyeliner, in the shade Trick or Treat, and it's a beautiful purple shade. Let me get, and you see that? And I'm gonna apply that in my waterline. And that'll match the purple from the palette really super well. And see? And then I'm going to take a very small brush, if I can find a very small brush. Here's a thin flat shader brush from Luxie Cosmetics. It's the 239 Precision Shadow Brush. And I'm going to take just a tiny bit of Spice of Life, kind of right there on the tip, and just kind of now, I typically don't blend out my eyeliner with shadow. I never thought it looked good on me, but I have found ways to do it. And then you can kind of smoke it out and wing it up if you'd like. Because I don't think that this look needs a actual wing. I think a wing would be too much with this. So I'm not going to put any eyeliner on the top of my eyes on the top lid. I'm just going to curl my eyelashes. And give them a secondary curl. And then I'm just going to put on my mascara. Just like that. And apply a little bit on the bottom lashes. Try not to do that, because that's how you get mascara smudges. Okay. So now you have your mascara on. You can move on to whatever part of your makeup you do next, whether it's blush, contour, highlight, eyebrows, kind of whatever. I'm going to do my eyebrows next, and I always tend to do them like after I've done my foundation and my eyes, just because I know that if I do it before, I'm going to get stuff, I'm going to mess them up, basically. So I always do them close to last. so that I know that they're not going to get messed up doing the rest of my makeup. Okay, and I'm just gonna fill them in, give them a quick fill. Although nothing is a quick fill with my eyebrows because they look so pale. And okay. And then give them a quick brush through. Just like that. And if you need to kind of blend anything, you know, with your hands or whatever, go ahead and take your time, do that. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a bit of contour. This is the Benefit Hula Bronzer in just the original shade. And I'm going to, I found out that the best contour for my face shape is kind of right here along the top of my cheeks. So what I do is I put my bronzer right here, or my contour, bronzer, you know, kind of whatever I'm using at that point, and I put it right there at the sides of my face. Temple, and then right here at the back side of my cheekbone. And then I make sure I blend that really, really, really well, because, you know, you don't want any harsh lines. And I also take it up to the sides of my forehead a little bit, just like that. And then what I do, take my powder brush, make sure that's blended in really well. And then here's the fun part. I take my blush and I put that right over top of where I put the contour. Now, you might say that that's, you know, kind of defeats the purpose of contour, or, you know, stuff like that. But actually, it's kind of like, in the 1980s, they did something called blush contouring, which is where they put the blush and did use different shades of blush all up in here. And you can actually see that in different kind of photos from the time as well. Well, it's the same kind of premise and idea, but with contour and blush. So I really like that idea, and I really like the way it looks on my face shape, because I think it makes my face look a little bit more oval shaped and not so round. So I really like that. Also, sometimes, I don't do it all the time, but sometimes I also contour just under my jaw. So we'll do that too, and just kind of like that right in here. Like I said, I don't do it always. And contouring my nose, sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. It depends on how much time I have. I don't really feel like doing that tonight because it does take kind of a lot, and I'm not that patient tonight. So, and then of course, you know, blend out your blush. You don't want to look like a clown. And then highlight, I love this Super Shock cheek in Smoke and Whistles by ColourPop. It's so pretty. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty. It kind of looks like a champagne color on camera, but it's a little bit more pinky in person. And I use it on a dry sponge because I feel like that's the best way to apply this to get the best payoff. And look at that. Look at that. Look at how bright that is. Now, if you have texture on your skin, it's definitely going to show through this highlight. I mean, you can see there I have a scar, so it picks up on that really, really well. So if you have texture you don't want to show, this is not the highlight for you. I'm not mad about my texture, so it doesn't bother me that much. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of highlight to my nose because I like the way that looks. And so let's see. And then if you want to, of course, you can use your powder brush and make sure everything kind of blends in and looks soft and blended. Now, for lips, with this look, you could do like a kind of deep lip. I think I'm gonna go with this Profusion Mean Girls Soft Matte Lip Cream, and this is in the shade Regina George. Because we all love to hate Regina George from Mean Girls. I mean, it's just a thing. So we're going to put that on. And it's just a soft pink lipstick. It's nothing to write home about. It's not super matte. It's not super long wearing. But it is kind of pretty. And so that's the finished look. I'm in love with it.